Last episode fucked up.
Yeah, I've got a whole hour's worth of footage we can't use.
No, corrupt. File is corrupt. Yes, it ran to the bank and stole everyone's money.
Amateur hour over it.
So anyway, quick news. We've got Talkbag lost in space. You can't drive your truck on fields due to the environment. China's got a pneumonia outbreak, hasn't it?
It has.
True crime fan commits murder and gets caught. Bigfoot spotted on a hunt camera. And a UK nuclear submarine nearly gets crushed. But that's not that important because we're going to talk about a manhunt.
We are.
A manhunt in the UK has been put out for 6 terrorist suspects.
Yes.
Where did they come from?
Please tell me.
A boat.
Oh, really?
A boat. These boats have been coming over for ages. Absolutely ages.
Seems like there's a lot more talk about them recently, though, than there has been.
Well, during the COVID pandemic, who was out reporting them? Nigel Farage.
Was it?
Who was on Celebrity Get Me Out of It. So he was one that was reporting every day about how many that were making the crossing. And, it turns out that whoever's coming on these boats is literally anyone now. No one knows who they are.
It seems like I don't know if it's actually getting worse or that it's just getting more coverage recently. But it seems like every day someone's talking about another boat that's come over. It
seems like what you just said is right, that we have got more coverage of it.
Yeah,
there are more people that are spotting it.
Yeah, it's hard to know if it is actually increasing or if it's just you're seeing it more.
But they've just released as well throughout the week. What is it? We're 647 million we've taken in this year.
Something like that.
In immigration.
Isn't it?
I don't know if that's like legal or illegal. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know if that's also.
I think they just said migration, didn't they? They didn't.
Yeah,
didn't
I'm not sure if they class like the illegal people coming over as in that number as well.
But you see, the problem being,
regardless, it's still a lot of people.
It is a lot of people, isn't it? And at the end of the day, these people have managed to slip under a radar. And considering that our threat level is at sustainable, which I'm going to let people know if they don't know what sustainable is meaning, it means that attack is likely. So I think we've moved down to sustainable. I think last time we were at the higher was obviously when the London bombings happened. But we've got these people running around now, and they're gone. They come on the boat and they're gone. Now the police are saying they're on a manhunt. Do they know? Do we know what they look like? No. Have they informed the public of what they look like? No.
As far as we know, do they even really seem to know who they're looking for?
No. So I think it's intel that's come from MI5, obviously the Home Security Home Office and everything like that. They are Iranian, supposedly. Brilliant. So from Iran, and obviously we've got all this major thing in the Middle East at the minute kicking off.
Do we know specifically what they're wanted for? I mean, obviously terror-related offences, but have we ever been given specifics as far as you can find?
No, it's just literally the fact of that they know there's 6 people that have got their chance to commit a terrorist attack, terrorist atrocities, and they're free in the world. They're free in the UK now, and this is what. Why is it still being allowed to happen? Why are we still allowing these boats to come in, and we're not doing anything about them?
Oh, I suppose
some do get intercepted, but then some slip through the net.
I suppose it's one of those where, realistically, would there ever really be a way of completely stopping them? Like, because you can't man every stretch of beach along the country, can you?
No, of course you can't. We don't have that power.
No, I don't think anybody would. Why do you just fence off every beach? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think that's what a lot of people thought was going to happen during Brexit, didn't they? They thought we were just going to put a massive fence up.
I think they thought it was going to be like a massive electrified fence around the country.
Fence around the country. I mean, we've spoken about this before, like in Johnny English. Like when you look at how mate wants to take over the UK, wants to make the UK a major prison,
doesn't he? Yeah.
Right, and he puts like a fence around all of the world to shut the world off. You can't do that. It's not feasible.
No.
You're going to take away hundreds and probably thousands of years worth of environment that people have looked out on for thousands of years.
Yeah, it's a bit of
and then you put a wall up.
Unrealistic. Not to mention you probably kill all the wildlife that live around those areas of the beach and stuff. So.
Like all those turtles and all that crap, they're going to go on the beach. We'd lose all of that. I mean, if we could build a wall around Pompey, that'd be brilliant. But you know, it's not going to it's not going to change, is it? Nothing's going to happen. And now, I mean, this is these are 6 that they've admitted. How many more?
What do you reckon the biggest problem is? The fact that there are a lot of them are able to get over here, or do you reckon the bigger problem is that we don't send them away once they get here?
I don't know. I mean, we've just lost the Rwanda thing, haven't we?
Yeah.
That's just absolutely fallen through. So
although,
that's
as far as I'm aware,
legal now.
Rwanda isn't like the nicest place in the world.
It's one of the nicest Africa places.
I don't know if that says a lot.
I don't know. Not being funny. If they're evading war-torn environment, to then go somewhere that's a little bit safer.
I suppose so.
I don't understand I honestly don't understand what the urge is to get to the United Kingdom. I mean, it must be the budgets. It must be our benefits.
I think a lot of it is a combination of benefits and mainly healthcare. I think free healthcare. I think that's what a lot of it is.
I mean, a lot of people under the conspiracy that it's because it's all the Crusades.
Well, that's going down the right.
And now, honestly, yeah, I keep seeing it on the internet. I keep seeing it everywhere. Everyone keeps commenting saying, "You did this to us hundreds of years ago. We're doing it to you now." I mean,
that does seem a bit far-fetched.
We didn't. They did it. We didn't do it. That's our ancestors.
That's the equivalent I've heard recently of the whole like men in power thing, like the patriarchy. I've heard the equivalent at the moment of saying like, "Oh, men have had it good for so long, forget about men." But it's like that wasn't us specifically. No. Like that wasn't.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't you. It wasn't me and you that did that 100 years ago.
It's the old people that are like dead now, and probably there's the odd ones in an office.
Probably. Well, that's what I mean. Like it's not specific. That's like saying, "Oh, forget about men."
Well, there is, isn't there? What's his name? Who's that one who's in the party at the minute, and he thinks women are thick.
I don't know who's that.
Oh God, he's one of our English. It's not Jeremy Corbyn, is it?
I don't think it's Jeremy Corbyn.
Not Jeremy Corbyn.
I think Jeremy Corbyn's
the other one. He's Scottish. I don't know. Forget about his name.
Yeah, we can't find his name.
He's been investigated for it. You know how he's rude and everything towards about being like women in power and everything like that, and saying how he thought that some women are thick and all that. He actually said this on recording. They've actually got him on voice recording. Can't think who he is. He's in like a TV show where they do like a mock face of all of the. So it's a comedy. They take the mickey out of all of the Boris Johnson and everything like that, and he's in, and they've made him like a right little squished up face, little rat, and
a rat man.
Yeah, he's just like that in there. But it is true. Going back to all of it, it's if people are commenting these things on the internet and they really are meaning what they say by, you know, we're doing what you did to us hundreds of years ago. I mean, you will know better than what those things that happened then.
If anything, they're worse than the people they're trying to hurt, because the people they're trying to hurt didn't actually do anything.
No, and you know, so these 6 men are now on the loose. Where are they? We don't know. They've probably
come and gone by now.
Yeah, they've probably done their intel. Probably off they've gone.
Got back on a boat and gone.
Or back on the boat. Yeah,
got back on the same boat.
Gets to France. France turn them around back here again. Or they're in an underworld, didn't they? You know, we don't know. We don't know what these cells have got, do they?
True.
So I think that concludes that. But yeah, there is a manhunt for them. Be vigilant. I don't know how, because we don't know what they look like.
And if they're found, we'll tell you.
If they're found. Oh yeah, you want to talk about Snow White, didn't you?
Yes, Snow White, the remake from ye old Disney. Been a bit of controversy around, hasn't there?
It has, yeah, because obviously, like the new one, has, I think Disney have taken a step back now and said that they've actually realised that they've ruined.
They have, as far as I'm aware, they have kind of taken a step back and reined in the extreme sort of like wokeness of it, because the whole sort of production had quite a lot of controversy around it, because they've almost gone out of their way to make it as, what's the right word? Is it quality? Like they've gone
equality.
They've gone for like an equality quota basically, and they've just tried to put as much diversity is what I'm looking for. They've tried to throw as much diversity into a film called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Now, there's been a little bit of controversy around Snow White herself, because in the cartoon, the story, she's described as having like snow white skin's like white as snow.
Skin is as white as snow, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, the woman playing her is black, so there's been a bit of controversy around that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That bit, I don't really care.
We don't care about the person.
However,
playing it's
the issue that a lot of people have had is the woman playing her. I think her name's Rachel Ziegler.
Yeah.
She is very anti like princess.
Hero, she made a video, didn't she, saying that we need to get out of the bullshit.
Yeah, so she's
that
been
we're
kind
in
of
and starts making.
Yeah, she's been saying a lot of stuff like, you know, oh, women don't need to be saved by men. This isn't a story of Snow White getting saved, and it's like, fine if that's what you want to do, but that's not the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah,
that's
if you want to do that, make a story.
But that's a different story.
Yeah,
that's not this story.
Make a story.
You're changing this story to something else. And
it's already written. Don't rewrite it. If you're not happy with it, go make your own film.
Yeah,
about it.
Yeah, and also, as we know, there's a bit of controversy around the Seven Dwarfs as well.
Yeah, they're actually 6 foot people
who weren't.
Oh, and there's a woman in there, woman dwarf.
There was the Seven Dwarfs.
Even though they're meant to be men, I know people are gonna be like, oh, you know, but do they need to be men? Well, no, they don't, because it just looks like a adult film.
Yes, they don't need to be. The dwarfs don't need to be men, but I mean, I have said this before. I feel like they probably should be dwarfs because that's the story.
It would give work as well to people that are dwarfs.
Yeah, it would give
them work.
Because I would imagine
you're stealing work from them.
As an actor with dwarfism, I imagine roles are quite hard to come by.
Yeah.
And this would be quite a big budget thing.
It'd be a major thing, wouldn't it? Again, you know, like, because people would be like, oh, you know, he played as... It's like we always remembered who played as R2-D2.
Mm.
And we always remembered who played as, like, the Jawas. Like, they were kids, or if they were actually people with dwarfism.
Mm. Or good examples, a guy who played Tyrion Lannister.
That's it. Yeah, another one. Yeah, so, everyone remembers their faces and everything. So, you know, you've taken that away... But there is good news, isn't there?
There is good news, yes.
There is very good news to this.
Yes, Matt Walsh of, is it the Daily Wire?
Daily Wire, yeah.
Him and his team have decided to make their own recreation of Snow White. Now, it's not been that clear on the details, but I think, as far as I can tell, they're going to be making it a lot more like you would maybe say it should be.
Well, it's going to be starring Brett Cooper, isn't it? Who is a female actress.
She is, although
she's also a influencer.
Yeah, she's more of a presenter.
And TikTok.
But apparently she's like a well-trained actor.
Yeah, no, her job profession, when I looked into her, she is an actress. I didn't even realise. Yeah, neither did I.
Professionally trained and
stuff. I was looking at what films she's been and everything like that. I didn't get as far into that. I just literally got basic information on it because I then had to go back to work. But it's being played by Brett Cooper. Apparently she's looking very forward to it, and
it's going to be interesting to see what happens with it.
Yeah, that's it. And I think she's very on board with all of it because she's, like she says, it's the way that the book's written, isn't it?
It kind of makes you wonder as well, because I haven't seen a lot of details on what they're actually planning to do.
No.
So I don't know if they're going to make it a real sort of strict, like this is how it should be done, Snow White, or if they're going to make a complete piss take of like extreme Disney example.
I don't know.
I don't know which way they're going to go.
It'd be interesting, wouldn't it, to know how they're going to approach it. I mean, I'm a bit baffled though because Disney own that.
I don't actually think they do. I think,
or do they not?
As far as I'm aware, I think Snow White, the story itself, is in the public domain.
Oh,
so I think that's how they are getting away with doing it, because it's technically a public domain story. Because of the age of it, after a certain amount of time, the stories become public domain, so anyone can kind of use them.
So anyone can kind of get on with it.
Yeah, so like, the copyright kind of runs out on it, basically. So yeah, I think that's how they're getting away with it.
Well,
not really getting away with it. It's not something to get away with in the first place. It's fine. It's not illegal anyway. So.
Well, if of course not. That's all I want to know.
Yeah,
I thought it was owned by Disney, so obviously it's not. So if it's in the public, yeah, fine, fair enough. Make it yourself.
Yeah, so
that might make sense in how people had to do plays and everything like that off of it. But yeah, fair play to them. They're going to go to all this expense to actually make their own film. It'd be interesting to know how good it is because I'll give it a watch.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably will most likely watch the Disney one.
I was going to say, I think I'd watch them both to see what
to criticism to see
what they're like.
Because I've also heard that she, as the actress, she is actually going to get no more roles in anything else.
What, because of her views?
Because of her views, yeah. I think she has kind of blacklisted herself.
I think she shot herself in the foot. I mean, if she wants, like we said a minute ago, if she wants to tell that story that she's trying to tell in Snow White, then go and tell it, but don't pretend it's Snow White because it's not.
No, exactly.
She's basically just using the name of Snow White to, you know, promote this film that she's trying to make that's not Snow White.
I mean, I don't know what else you'd call it. Woman with. I mean, you can't, 7 people.
Well, you can't call it Snow White because she's not got Snow White skin. You can't call it the 7 Dwarfs because they're not dwarfs.
No.
So do you just call it Lady and 7 Friends? That sounds like a porn.
That's what I'm saying. You just. So there is some good news coming to it.
We will see what comes of it.
We'll see what comes of it. We definitely will watch it. I think we should definitely do a reactions film.
Maybe a little review of it.
A little review of it, definitely. Like, you know,
little review of
Rotten Tomato views and everything like that.
Do a little review of each one.
It'd be interesting to see what they look like, and then it'd be interesting to do a side comparison to see how good both of them are going to compare next to each other.
It'd be interesting if they kind of play out scene by scene as well.
Yeah, and then obviously it'll be the box office that'll tell us the most.
That would be very interesting. If they come out at the same time, I think the Disney one's going to bomb.
I mean, there's loads of controversy around Disney making new films anyway at the minute and reboots because they have slowly started taking things away. And, you know, even talking about Lightyear. I liked Lightyear. Right, I was like, have you watched it?
Yeah, I have.
You have, yeah. I liked Lightyear.
I quite liked it as well.
But the problem being, a lot of people didn't, and it was one of Disney's flops.
Yeah, it didn't. It kind of bombed a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, it did bomb.
I didn't even realise it had come out. Right, I saw it was coming out.
Yeah,
and then it went completely dead. Then I saw it was on TV to watch a few months later, and I was like, oh.
It ended up back in the news because it got banned in quite a lot of countries because obviously it had 2 females kissing in it.
Did it?
Which I wasn't really bothered with. Like, I was just like, to be honest, with seeing this and everything. I mean, I'm not being funny. Come on, man. Like, if you watch lesbian porn, you're then bothered about it.
You know what? It's always the guys that watch the lesbian porn that are like, I don't want to see girls kissing.
I don't want to see 2 girls kissing in public, you know. And then the same with men, you know, like, come on.
I didn't realise there was any controversy.
Just get with the real world now. This is how it's looking, you know, it's not illegal anymore. You know, if you want it to be illegal, then
like I said, I didn't even know there was any controversy around it.
No, but there was. It was banned in a couple of countries, and then obviously I think that's what caused it to dive because everyone started kicking off about it. And like, oh my god, I'm not showing me kids that. And
how silly.
Like,
I thought it was a pretty good film too.
But you'd let them see, like, I don't know, a scene of like Woody kissing. What's her name? What's the farm?
Bo Peep.
Bo Peep.
Little Bo Peep.
Little Bo Peep. You know, kissing that, but it's not really kissing. It's like that in it on it. Woody's like made of like a rubbery plastic, and she's like porcelain. You know, but you know, you're not bothered about that. But you know, so I think Disney are in the spotlight again with this, and they have made.
What I don't really understand with Disney right now is I understand it. But I think it's stupid. The fact that they keep remaking classic films that everyone loves, but they go out of their way to make it to make it overly diverse to the point where it's almost comical.
It's like Darth Vader, isn't it? Pray I don't hold to the deal. You know, every time and you watch that Robot Chicken episode, and what do you mean now? I have altered the deal. And he comes out of clown shoes every time. Yeah, that's Disney with a new film. I've altered something else.
I think it's because each time it's almost comical when they try and they go out of their way to make it.
They'll change the cat and all that in the Alice in Wonderland in a minute. Like it won't be allowed to smile.
Or because
it shows happiness.
Oh, they'll turn it into a horse. Like that's the sort of thing they do.
They would, yeah. Or a dog or something because.
Yeah, or a small Chinese.
And then the Mad Hatter, he won't be called the Mad Hatter because that incites mental health.
Yeah,
I bloody know. But this is what we're saying. So we're waiting for it to come out. We're going to see what it looks like. I mean, I don't even know if Snow White's out already, is it?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think
it's got a little while ago. Yeah,
but yeah, so
we'll give it a little review.
We'll see what it goes like anyway.
Yeah.
So going back to a bit of wokeness, I've actually changed the way that I've worded this one. It's Target go again, because I took the wokeness out of that, the woke word out of it. I'm actually starting to get very annoyed with the word woke. It's everywhere at the minute.
It's a little bit overplayed, isn't it?
Yeah, it's getting majorly overplayed. And this isn't us. This has been put on the news from quite a lot of
like news outlets
and stuff like that, and social medias.
So what has Target actually done?
So Target again are in the news again for being woke because they've got Christmas decorations, right? I don't understand one of them. I understand one of them. So let's say you're an LGBT supporter,
yes,
right? And you're like, oh, like you want something in your house, and it happens to be Christmassy. It's a nutcracker. It's in the Pride colours.
Okay.
It's got a little flag with the Pride flag and everything like that.
Right.
Fair enough. You might like that.
Cool.
You might think, yeah, if it sends money to that organisation, anything like that.
That's
but
fine.
Black Santa in a wheelchair.
Did they actually do that?
They've actually done that.
Did they actually do it?
I'm serious.
Oh, I thought that was a joke.
No, it's not. They're actually got on shelves.
Have they actually?
Yeah.
Let's get a photo of
it. It looks like Elf on the Shelf, right?
I saw a video of someone talking about this the other day, but I thought they were joking. I didn't realise this was an actual thing.
No, it's actually a thing.
Oh.
Oh
God, they actually have done it. I thought it was a joke.
I don't know what.
Is this actually?
But it's not that as well. They've done white Santas in a wheelchair as well.
But why are they in a wheelchair?
I don't know. I'm starting.
Do you know what I don't? Okay, this is something that does kind of annoy me. It's like I understand that you want to represent people in wheelchairs, right?
With disability or illness or sickness.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But Santa isn't in a wheelchair. Do you know what I mean? That's like releasing a Ronaldo.
How does he get down a chimney?
It's like releasing a Ronaldo doll and him having like no legs.
And he's not a footballer.
And it's like, but he's a football player. He has legs. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
I know there's sports out there like basketball, wheelchair, and everything like that.
Yeah.
I know it works. I know it's all out there.
But what I'm saying is they're taking someone who's not in a wheelchair and putting them in a wheelchair.
But you imagine, right? I don't know how. I'm only putting myself in someone else's shoes, and this is only me like imagining it. I don't know what it'd be like. Now, if I was a child in a wheelchair and my mum and dad came home at Christmas with a Christmas decoration of Santa in a wheelchair, I think I'd be pretty upset.
Yeah, I mean, don't you think the solution is to have
because that kid probably don't want to be in that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't you think?
So you're inciting this, okay?
Wouldn't you think the solution is to have more idols in wheelchairs rather than taking idols that aren't in wheelchairs and making toys of them in wheelchairs?
Santa's not real anyway. Sorry, kids. But
that's what I mean. But like, Santa's not in a wheelchair, is he? Like, generally, the character of Santa's not in a wheelchair. But it's like I
can see Playmobil coming out of a set now where they have a ramp on the sleigh for him to get into it.
I do,
or a little crane hoist.
I do admit that because he's not a real character, I guess he could be in a wheelchair. I'll take that.
But you're rewriting history again because
but he's not.
Wasn't he? He was real.
Wow. Based on like
he's real. He went round and gave presents to the poor. Where had you go food, didn't he, or something at Christmas?
I don't. It's not like the Santa we know and love.
No, it's not the Santa. But he wore green.
I know what you mean.
St. Nicholas, he actually did. It was real, but he didn't do that in a wheelchair.
But Santa isn't in a wheelchair, is he?
Okay, right. So we got that.
So isn't that almost like taking the piss though? Out of people in wheelchairs, putting someone who's not in a wheelchair.
Why haven't we got a female Santa in a wheelchair?
Because isn't that just like him pretending to be in a wheelchair? Because Santa can walk, so isn't putting him in a wheelchair taking the piss out of people who can't walk?
Santa's been stealing benefits.
Because Santa's like pretending he can't walk.
He wants social healthcare.
Isn't that essentially what's happening with that?
I just don't understand it. I mean, I get the Nutcracker. Nutcracker's fine. We're seeing it everywhere. It's popping up everywhere. You know, like you can get little pride stickers with your cars and everything like that. You know, it's going to come. It's merchandise. But the Santa thing. I just want a major, massive Stargate ring to open up, and I want to walk into it.
Same, I'd join you.
I've had a gutful.
Open up the wormhole and go somewhere.
I mean, I know there's songs about boycott Target. I know there's like massive movement to boycott Target, and then this is another thing that's just going to boycott Target again. But
But that's like,
don't buy it, just ignore it.
That's like Disney level of diversity though.
Yeah.
That's diversity for diversity's sake. That's not actual diversity.
Exactly.
It's pretend.
Someone right now somewhere's bought one of those though. And they've got that in their ornament.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually don't have a Santa Claus ornament.
I think we've got a little
at Christmas.
I think we've got one that sings.
I actually don't have one in the house. We
got one of those with like the extending legs.
Extending legs. Yeah. We don't actually have anything in the house that says Santa Claus.
Do we not?
No, seriously. And I've started decorating.
Which is funny because your house.
I've started decorating on the 25th.
Because your house looks like Santa's grotto. So
Santa's grotto, but it has nothing to do with Santa at all. It's got lights. It's got baubles everywhere. It's got the colours of Christmas. Obviously, the tree comes next week. We get a real tree. But we actually don't have anything on it that has Santa on it or anything. It is literally just Christmas. And that's just made me realise that I want to buy a Santa Claus in a wheelchair now and put him in a tree. That's like, why? You're walking down a shop, a supermarket aisle.
Oh, no.
And you walk the Yankee Candle, push trolley along, bit of tinsel. Oh God, the Santa's in a wheelchair. I really want it. I mean, how much was it as well?
Did they keep it out on the shelves as well, or did they take it out after that?
$5. $5.
Well, not bad to be fair.
It's not fun. But it's Target. What's it going to do? Is it actually going to go to like a cause?
That's literally just.
Is it actually going to charity?
But yeah, that's what I mean. Or are they just pocketing the money?
Or are they just pocketing the money?
Is that going to like some sort of wheelchair foundation, or are they just taking the money that they make on it?
Target, new title. Target takes piss out of disability.
Target takes the piss out of people in wheelchairs.
Because I don't get it. Anyway, Stargate or Doctor Who or whoever, please turn up or Rick, Morty.
Rick and Morty come and take us away.
Just new dimension. Done, please. Thank you.
New Delhi. Fighting pollution.
Your pollution solution.
The pollution solution. The New Delhi air cannons. When did this pop up? Last week, was it? Week before?
Yeah, last week it was, yeah. So I think it's been happening for a number of years now. 5 years they've been trying to use these cannons. But it's ended up majorly in the news because they are not working.
What are they actually intended to do, these air cannons? Are they basically intended to push the pollution somewhere else?
All that smelly poo from the roads somewhere next door.
What do they actually... What is the actual goal of these things?
I don't know. I think it's because obviously they deal with smog, don't they?
Yeah, they are quite a lot of it.
So they reckon that like you could be down like a street and you couldn't even see like the end of it. I think it's to take that smog, but they forget one thing: we're in a dome, aren't we? And the stratosphere and everything.
Yes, yes,
we can't push.
Yeah, I don't. Really...
Otherwise, we'd be going up in rockets by space air.
Yeah, I don't really know what obviously these air cannons. I don't really understand where they're trying to how they're trying to get these things to work.
I mean, I bet they've messed up their jet stream like nothing.
I imagine.
Because I don't understand. I don't see it uses power, and it's at some serious power.
Do you reckon they're running on diesel engines? Like a backup generator.
I honestly, I've never even heard of it, and then when it come up in the news, we've seen it. Now, this place has got a growing population by daily.
New Delhi is huge.
New Delhi is massive. I mean, this is just India. It being the capital. New Delhi itself is 32,941,000.
It's a fair few people, isn't it?
A lot of people.
I mean, as people probably know, India is very overpopulated anyway.
Yeah, very overpopulated, very smelly country as well. They don't look after it. Family Guy said it.
That's where you get your news from, is
it? It's meant to be like a place that you go, like a pilgrimage and everything like that. You go and have like a religious belief. If you actually go there, there are good parts, but New Delhi's a dive.
From what I've seen, it doesn't look very nice.
You don't see that in the brochure, do you?
No.
Smog.
No, it doesn't look very
That's why you want Carl Pilkington to go to India. Do Delhi.
Even without the smog, though, it doesn't look very nice.
No, it doesn't look very pleasurable.
I mean, I think the smog makes it look
they are really fighting pollution now. They've got they've now brought in driving restrictions.
Hello.
So, like,
set up their own ULEZ, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, I thought by us battling pollution here, we were saving countries like that.
I think the problem
taking the piss.
I think the problem we have is that, I remember back in the day, it'd be like, don't leave your TV on standby, you've got to save the planet. But then you get like coal plants in China just like destroying the atmosphere.
And it's absolutely bellowing out.
It's like, I don't think
tonnage of carbon.
It's like, I don't think not putting the heating on is going to save the world. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's like, everyone had these fluorescent tubes, didn't they, in their kitchen, these lights. It actually turned out they used more power to turn them on than it was to leave them on.
Yeah.
So every time you walk out the room, we'll make sure you turn the light switch off. So schools used to use them.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Turn them off when you're not using them. So every time you used to come out of the classroom, that's why the bulbs used to blow up. They used to go out. And you used to have to wait, didn't you? Used to go... Well, and then they just turn on.
We've talked about it before. This was like 20 episodes ago.
20 episodes ago.
But we did talk about the fact that 90% of the world's pollution is made by about 10 companies.
Yeah.
Like, there are 10 companies that cause the majority of the pollution in the world.
The Rothschild. And...
Like people leaving their lights on and like leaving their TV on standby isn't what's destroying the planet.
You're not going to save it.
No.
And, these countries, they are majorly industrially manufacturing absolute crap.
But even to put it into perspective, if everybody in the country took their TV off standby, it wouldn't make a dent in how much pollution these companies are making. So it's like...
We are growing with it. We are a country that's learning it. They're not. They aren't.
No, it doesn't seem like
it. It doesn't seem everyone's on board. It seems we've got ourselves, we've got Wales, Scotland, Ireland. Everyone's starting to get on board here in the UK.
Yeah.
France is starting to slowly look into it. Spain is starting to look into it. Germany, Holland. You go to Amsterdam and it's all push bikes.
Yes.
There's not really cars. It's mainly
just generally in like Holland, they're really good with stuff like that.
Exactly. And then as we go into the States, we've started seeing in New York they're bringing in cycle lanes, bigger cycle lanes. They're starting to really tackle down on like the amount of vehicles that are like. Well, we're coming up with the idea that no combustible engine will be built after the 2035.
I think that's what people have said.
That's what they've said. It might get relapsed. But we're trying. China went and made thousands of these EV cars, have stored them, hoping people were going to buy them. Then they've had a plummet in sales. So now all these EV cars are sat waiting. Now, I don't know if they leak, but you ever left like AA batteries in like a Christmas box and then you come to Christmas and you open them and they explode?
I don't know if it works the same with a car battery, but I don't know.
It leaks though, doesn't it? I mean,
I don't really know. It might
is that safe? Like these cars being sat around?
I don't really know how car batteries work, but...
No, but this is what I mean.
Yeah, it does make you wonder.
But not a lot of people do they? I mean, they've not been around long enough, and God knows what these lot are making out there.
Yeah, true.
They probably do. I bet you roll the car over and you put two major double A's in, put it back down again.
Stick a 9-volt in there.
We're far from it. And then a country like New Delhi, a capital like New Delhi, and they're using a bloody pressurised air cannon.
I just don't know if it's one of those things where a place like New Delhi, the whole culture is so bad around it. Like the culture of looking after the planet doesn't even exist.
They're naive to it.
So it's almost like why are they even bothering to try?
They're naive.
The problem's so deep they ain't even gonna be able to fix it.
They're naive to it, aren't they?
It's almost like they're trying to fix it. Or they're starting to think about it, but it's almost like it's just a bit too late at this point.
All that they're doing is bulldozing over the top of it with a fresh earth.
Terraforming.
Literally, that is all they're doing with the problem.
Maybe that's what we need. Maybe we should just terraform the planet.
Well, they're just, they got these air cannons. Yeah, right, lovely. It pushes that way. What's over there? China. China start doing it. That pushes it that way. I don't know, let's say ends up in Russia. All you're doing is moving that smog somewhere else. It's not fixing the problem. It's not fixing the smog. It's not.
I guess it's fixing it for the city, but not for the planet.
I mean, it must dissipate down, but forcing it at big velocity But where does it go? Like,
surely you'd need like thousands of those air cannons on at once, right, to do anything.
You wouldn't be able to air shit, would you? What you do is everywhere you went.
Every road.
Just made like you're in a hairdryer salon, like you're in a hair salon. All you hear is hair dryers.
Yeah, it would be like that, wouldn't it?
You'd be walking around with one on your head.
I just don't know if these air cannons are going to work.
They'll probably start selling them on like Etsy and all that in a minute.
Get one out in your back garden. Fight pollution yourself. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
I just don't get it. I mean, if it's something that's that good, why haven't we done it?
Isn't that like a band-aid on the problem as well?
It is just a band-aid.
That's not really fixing the problem.
No, you're sifting it somewhere else.
You're just kind of trying to deal with it once it's already happened. You're not stopping it from happening in the first place.
So the money that went into researching the air cannon, some dopey dick went air cannon, and then a whole party of people went, great idea.
Yeah, probably.
The money that went into that, then to manufacture these,
couldn't they just like stop the core of the problem in the first place? Like, couldn't they look at that and try and tackle that?
What? Just get rid of the people?
Well,
just move them out.
But couldn't they like deal with the core like cause of all the smog in the first place instead of trying to deal with it after the fact?
Yeah, it's too much traffic, isn't it? You've seen the videos of India.
Oh yeah.
Like them driving around. Yeah. They're bloody dangerous. It's abysmal.
There's cars and cars and cars surrounded by crowds and crowds and crowds.
I mean, they're
ridiculous.
They have like a person walking in the street, cars going around, a moped going somewhere else. I mean, I've watched them. There's like a guy with a bridge, and he's got like a plank of wood, and he turns it over and lets mopeds over, and he moves out of the way, and he gets money for it. Where the hell? How is he able to do that? Why can't I do that? But he's got his own toll bridge, and it's a bit of 4B8, you know. Plank across. That's what I'm saying. It's not fixing the problem, is it? It's just moving it somewhere else.
I feel like they're trying to deal with it after it's already been done instead of stopping it at the source.
And if it was that good, how come we're not doing it? Come on, Rishi Sunak. I want to see an air cannon in London.
Get the air cannons out.
I mean, I honestly thought that ULEZ was fighting things like this.
I mean, to be fair, if anything else, ULEZ is like the idea of ULEZ is actually trying to stop the core of the problem rather than putting a band-aid on it, I suppose.
But it's making our air fucking brilliant. Yeah. But then next week we're going to end up with smog passing over because all the East countries are like, no, we need air cannons. We're just going to pass it everywhere else.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see what comes of that.
Yeah. So bring on the air cannons. So the US Army are having to eat humble pie.
What have they done?
So during the COVID pandemic, soldiers were made to take vaccinations to combat COVID-19.
Well, they were forced to take them.
They were told to take them.
As in, if you don't take it, you can't be in the army, sort of.
Correct.
Ew.
So there was a group of soldiers, 1,900 of them, that said that they will not be taking the COVID-19 vaccination.
Right.
They were then fired. Now, a letter has been sent out to the ex-service personnel, all 1,900 of them, inviting them back into the army, saying that they didn't need to have the vaccination.
So did they get dishonorably discharged, or were they just sort of forced to leave?
They get dishonorable discharge, and they get forced to leave, don't they? So they don't get anything for it, do they? They I imagine they probably got their last pay.
Because I think when you get dishonorable discharge, you don't get any benefits or anything.
Nothing. Don't get pension or nothing back. No, nothing. No, they literally wipe your whole record of it. I think that's what happened to him, and I think the US Army, because the reason this has come about is that the US Army is failing at its recruitment program now. It is majorly dropped. I mean, they obviously had an advert that was kind of woke for recruiting, and it flopped.
Of course it would.
It flopped because everyone's like, oh, bloody hell, is that what the US Army is like now? Soft and stuff like that.
I just don't think people that want to go into the army are also on board with the woke side of life.
No, and they took the shark hand away. So a lot of people don't know what the shark hand is. The US Army is like the way that the training instructors do is they shark attack. Shark attack. And they literally do like the hand. It's like a dagger.
Yeah.
You're not listening to me. Stuff like that. So they do that. It's called a shark attack. Apparently they've made them stop doing that now because it's too hostile for the recruit. It may gives them the wrong insight.
It's too aggressive.
It's too aggressive, yeah. And
you're training them to kill people.
so this is what's happening. So the new brand of the US Army is we're starting to lose. So everyone knows Full Metal Jacket.
Mm-hmm.
That's the United States Marine Corps.
Classic.
But that's what it was like. That's what the training was like. You got shouted at. And you always imagined it, didn't you?
I would almost think that's what you want it to be like, though. But if you want,
you're breeding discipline into these people, aren't
even
you?
if you don't want to be in the army, you'd want your army to be like that.
Yeah. Like
Full Metal Jacket. You wouldn't want your army to be like, oh, that's a bit aggressive.
Because Russia and China all look at these and see our adverts and go, oh. I mean, I remember our United Kingdom one a couple of years ago about being, it wasn't even an advert, it was just an animation. It was like being grey, and I'm really upset today, and I hope I have someone I can talk to. I mean, I'm sorry, but there's not going to be someone to talk to if you're in the middle of a conflict, in a battle.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's really hitting you. Whilst you're cutting your other brothers in arms, sisters in arms, are fighting.
It's a tricky one as well, though, because you don't really want to attract people to the army who are, what's the right word? Less mentally strong.
Yeah, no, of course you don't.
You don't want people who have always got problems.
I mean, the army isn't always all about fighting. There are parts of it that
there's tech and all that.
Exactly. You've got your comms, you've got your IT, you've got your administration that are in there.
Regardless, you need people that are mentally strong, don't you?
But they are active soldiers. So if shit comes to happen, push, and we lost all of our frontline troops, I don't know, due to some major offence by the enemy. These guys are on the back lines that are on the radio. Yeah. They are still going to have a rifle. They've still got to fight. Yeah, if they got parachute dropped in with people came to them, they got to be able to fight you. No one knows what's ever happened. The battlefield's always changing, and for the US Army to try and invite these people back in, they are majorly down on their recruitment. I think there's something like 25% below as well on their recruiting gender this year. So the new US Army advert went out, didn't it? And it's all white men. It's very white. There's not a black man.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, no, seriously, and it's all shock and awe and everything as well.
That's weird, isn't it?
No, I mean, a lot they are trying loads of ways to. Because if you look at an advert manipulates your mind.
Well, they're just going either end of the spectrum, basically.
Yeah, just trying what they can, and it's kind of unfair because you're whitewashing all other different communities that are in the army. You've got like in the UK, we've got the islands, haven't we? We are a colony, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we've got Africa, we've got Jamaica and everything like that. We have people that come over, and Caribbeans and everything like that, and obviously we've got the Gurkhas. So if you start doing a campaign, an advert of just white soldiers, it's that's just Britain.
Yeah,
of course it is, but we do have other soldiers and other mixtures.
That's like a bit of a misstep to do.
So it
whitewash the army, sort of thing.
Yeah, and obviously they've done that. So it's obviously provoked speculation now. This is what's happening, that they are failing at their recruiting side of it.
But what do you reckon that is, though? Do you reckon it's just because less people these days are interested in being in the military?
Yeah, it's happening in every industry as well. So the construction industry and everything, there aren't young people coming into it anymore.
No, I mean for lack of a better term, I guess nowadays there are less men, manly men that want to do man stuff and go in the military and that sort of stuff.
The problem is the world's changing.
So I guess it's hard to recruit people that don't exist anymore.
Well, this is it. And the thing is as well, they kept saying years ago, soon we won't need an army because we're going to have drones. They kept pushing that agenda. So it's probably hit their recruiting as well, because people probably think, well, what's the point of me joining the army if I'm only going to be in there 5 years and a drone takes my job?
I do think in about 100 years maybe there won't be any soldiers anymore.
It won't need to be those robots.
It'll just be AI-powered weapons. But
exactly, it will be. You're going to have the odd man.
Until then.
But you're going to have the odd man, aren't you? To repair things.
Did you hear that the Pentagon have been talking about letting AI make decisions on whether to kill people? Well, they've been discussing it. They come out this week. They've been talking about whether or not they should allow AI to choose if it can kill someone or not, in battle situations.
Why?
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Why don't they just get a magic 8 ball?
Yeah, I know.
And just shake it every time, and if it says no, just Okay.
Basically, just build the Terminators.
Oh, good God. It'd be like that episode. But I was in that film, Robocop, that scene where that massive thing, like, majorly threat detected. Goes, no, he's not the threat. And it blasts him to pieces in the boardroom. That's what's going to happen. These generals are going to be sat there and it's going to go, one's going to have, like, I don't know, a pacemaker. And it's going to go, threat anomaly detected. And it'll be, picks up the pacemaker, go, no, he's got a heart. Start shooting it.
Like Inhuman detected.
Yeah. he's a synth or something. It just synth component detected. The whole lot of it just screams shit show.
That does it.
All of it. And it's not only happening there, it's happening here as well. I don't obviously know the UK didn't. I don't think the UK did any of that to our troops with vaccinations. I know they locked down the bases because they tried to stop as many coming, but it didn't work. I had a couple of mates that were in the army.
Yeah.
They actually had. It was worse. COVID was rife in the barracks.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't house it. They couldn't keep it under control because everyone basically lived with each other and worked with each other.
Yeah. Pretty close quarters.
And you go out in the field and you'd be sucking on someone else's spoon or something from their meal. You just how it was. It's just how it. These sharing things. So it's interesting to see that the US Army are trying every tactic they can and obviously try and recruit back 1,900 people.
Yeah, I just don't think there are enough people for them to recruit anymore. I don't think it's necessarily a recruiting problem on their side. I just don't think the people they're trying to recruit really exist anymore. Not as much as they used to. No,
they're working with their hands out in the countryside, aren't they?
Yeah.
And normally, we haven't had any wars where people have had to be called up. Whereas they have in the States.
Not
you got called up to World War II, you got called up to Vietnam, called up to the North Korean War. It was all national conscription. Doesn't work, it doesn't happen anymore. So, and that most national conscription people did stay in. And then when it all changed, some people left. But there isn't that anymore. I don't think there's a whole of it. I'm not saying we should have a national conscription because not everyone is to be a soldier.
No.
You could be taking the potential away from someone who could be able to create the first twin ion engine. And then, or you could have the guy that's in there that really shouldn't be a soldier.
Someone who's a
little bit tapped in the head and starts making traps. That's what I'm saying. So I think you are right. You're probably right. It's not there no more.
No, I don't think the sort of people that belong in the army exist in the world as much as they used to.
We don't get films like it no more either, do we? Like Heartbreak Ridge, Full Metal Jacket. We don't actually get films like that no more. Don't see it.
I think a lot of people, there'd be a bit of an outcry. If Full Metal Jacket come out today, I think people would be like, oh, that's horrible.
It would offend major, yeah.
People would get really offended.
They would.
But, yeah, it's not very nice, but I kind of feel like that's what you want your soldiers to be. Yeah. Like fortified to be strong, you know what I mean?
I think as well in this day and age as well, they don't want to glorify it, do they? They don't want to glorify what they do for a living.
I think it's because the rest of the world is so different. But that's the one place where that sort of I wouldn't call it toxic, but that kind of hard, manliness kind of has to exist for it to work.
Yeah, of course it does.
It's like the one place in the world where it has to be like that.
So when they have those adverts, everyone's commenting going, America, and it's all F-35 wraps going flying and jets blowing up. And, it's just... I don't know. Everyone's a soldier now online, isn't they?
Yeah.
They're either a keyboard warrior or they're Call of Duty, isn't they?
Yeah, something like that.
So I think on the end of that, I think the USA's there. I think they got thrown in the trash, didn't it?
Something like that.
Trash recycle.
It's like what do they call it over there?
Well, the receptacle or something like that.
No, what do they call it over? The waste paper basket.
Oh, the waste paper. Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Waste paper bar. So yeah, our first time, innit?
It is.
Talk about gaming.
What's in gaming news today then?
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead Destinies.
Walking Dead Destinies, yes, to be precise. Otherwise, if you type in the Walking Dead game, it comes up with the old animated one that came out years ago.
Oh, the Telltale one.
Telltale one, which I actually bloody hated as well.
The Walking Dead Destinies, I've not played it. I've watched an entire review of it. I've watched a few gameplay videos of it. It looks like shit.
Looks horrendous.
It looks really bad.
I mean, obviously it came out, what was it, last week?
I believe it was a week or two ago.
Yeah, it's come out.
Have you seen the gameplay of the recent King Kong game that was also terrible?
No. Didn't they make it?
It was by the same company.
It's the same company, isn't it? Yeah.
So basically, this company seems to make games and cutscenes that don't move. They're just like screenshots. But the weirdest thing is,
probably saves on so much money.
In the Walking Dead game, in the Walking Dead Destinies, the cutscenes, they're still images, but they're not flat.
They're actual animated.
They're like 3D scenes because you can see like parallax and things moving in different speeds and stuff.
That's it.
So
and they do slowly move.
It's almost like the cutscene has been paused.
Yeah,
like it's still all in 3D.
I thought it was someone's computer not working because it couldn't render it.
Do you know what? After the game came out,
and then when I found out it's actually a thing.
Yeah.
There's one cutscene though when there's punching.
Yeah, there is one.
And it's everyone's like, oh my god, wow! And then it goes back to another cutscene.
The funny thing is, there was a massive update that came out right after the game came out, and people were like, "Oh, it's going to fix it." It fixed nothing.
What did it?
It literally I think it fixed like one thing. People said they noticed one thing was fixed.
It's shockingly horrendous. It looks like a game that's been launched from the 2000s as well.
It looks like a PS1 game.
It actually does. It does. I mean,
even the game.
Halo 3 makes it look crap.
But like even the way the zombies in the game move, the way the AI in the game works, I wouldn't call that AI, but like the way anything in the game works, like you can walk like circles around the zombies like 6 times before they see you, because the detection thing is so slow.
Well, there's other things as well, isn't there? There's the same use of structure everywhere. Like there's like couple of zombies are only like 4 zombies.
There's like 4 zombies that they just keep repeating
and they keep repeating over again. And then there's like the cars, so like vehicles, like when they got like a scene where vehicles are damaged,
so there might be
exact same vehicle.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there might be a couple more than 4, but like
yeah,
it ain't many.
But it's the same over again, the same environment again.
I think you'll see a lot of scenes where it will be the same zombie, like 5 of the same zombie have all spawned at once.
Yeah.
Like with that sort of stuff.
It's interesting to see how we are in this. We are this advanced with technology now, with gaming, that we've got like gripping edge, like real life looking. I mean, Skyrim looks better.
I can't believe. I think the thing that bothers me, right, is obviously the company that made this are obviously pretty bad. This is a PS5 game as well. Like this isn't like.
It wasn't filmed on the PS5.
Like PS3. This is like PS5.
Was it created on the PS5?
I don't know. But obviously the company that makes this game are just not good at making games.
They need to go back to
obviously, but
maybe remaking Mario sort of things.
I can't get over the fact that the people who run the Walking Dead show must have seen this and signed it off. They must have seen some of this and been like, "That's all right, ship it."
Let it go.
Like. It's so bad.
Like a Viking's burial, just set it off out on fire.
Bad. It's just like the whole thing's almost like a joke.
Yeah, I don't.
It looks like it's been made by one guy in his bedroom. It's so bad. I've seen games made by one guy that are better.
Yeah, no, there are games. It's like where a guy's like done it himself. There's like modders out there that like make like modifications in games.
Like, they're literally
absolutely peak.
They're a single.
It's horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. I mean, When you hear there's going to be a Walking Dead game, every Walking Dead game is crap.
I hadn't even heard about this game until it came out.
No, I didn't hear anything about it either.
It just sort of
came out,
popped up, and only got popular because it was so bad.
Because it was, well, that's probably what was good for them.
Now, if you if you search on YouTube Walking Dead Destinies, every video that comes up will be Walking Dead Destinies is terrible. Walking Dead Destinies is broken. That's just because it's terrible.
It is terrible. I mean, I don't even think it. I don't even think it did really well with all of its game mechanics and everything like that.
Oh,
like,
no, they're really
the fighting scenes, and then you'd see Ricky's doing that to Shane, like the fights and everything like that. I mean, he can see you, he's shooting you, but you can see walls around things. Yeah, but they're not walls.
It's really weird.
It's everything about it. It's not.
I think just the way it's all the way the functionality of like how you actually play the game has been. Coded as...
It gave me like Dead Island kind of vibes, the way that it was kind of set.
It looked like poor man's Dead Island.
Yeah, no, but that's what I mean.
It looked like someone has made a fan recreation of it.
It just looked horrendous, and
I think that's what it looks like. It looks like a fan recreation of what a Walking Dead game would be. Like, it almost looks like a Walking Dead game exists, and someone's tried to recreate it themselves, and that's what Walking Dead Destinies is.
Absolutely, it baffles me.
I can't believe it got shipped. I can't believe the people at Walking Dead were like, yeah, go on and ship it. And the company that made it were like, yeah, that's a good game.
Someone watched that and all. Someone would have had to have played all that as well.
Yeah.
And they thought, I love this.
I can't believe that they got it to that point and the game was barely functional and they were like, "Good job, boys, we're done."
Didn't it go out as like beta?
I don't know. Like I said, I only heard about it literally when it got like, the day or so after it got released.
I mean, like you've got like proper live action like horror games like The Forest and the Sons of the Forest that are still in early development stages that are 10 times better than that.
Yeah,
like the everything, even like the character builds and everything like that. Like just even like the facial hair and the hair on the head. Like you look at Rick's just looks like a mop, like Lego Man.
It looks like PS1 graphics.
Yeah, it does. It's just. I mean, even Angelina Jolie with the triangle boobs looks better than what we've seen, and half of their faces don't even look right.
No, they don't.
They're like their stunt doubles.
Yeah, it all looks. It's just terrible. I can't believe it ever got shipped out.
But that's it. I think we're going to end that for the gaming this week. I don't know if there's anything new coming out, anything that's worth it. I mean, I know Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I think it's absolutely flopped.
Was it?
Yeah, well, it's just the same, isn't it? It's the same again. I was watching some side-by-side comparison.
Surely. There's only so far COD can go.
I've been saying that for years. They lost it after Black Ops 2.
I remember playing Modern Warfare 3, like the original one, thinking, this is just the same as Modern Warfare 2. Like, it's just COD.
Yeah, but it's just in New York and then France.
Different location.
Yeah, that's it.
Interiors,
of course it is. It's just, it is the same engine over and over again. So they load the weapon the same, you're like that, you're like, oh yeah. But they just try and make things all singy dancy. I know what COD's done now. They've moved along the line of Fortnite.
Yeah, I've heard they've tried to go a little down that.
I hate that.
And people don't like it.
That's not gaming. That's stressed. That's stressed out, aggressive gaming.
Yeah.
A ring closing in on you.
Yeah, I don't really like Fortnite.
No, I just... please, Elder Scrolls, make a new...
It's coming.
New Skyrim.
It is coming.
Would be nice. I do not want it like Fallout 4 though.
No, I think it's.
I don't want to hear my man talk. My character talk.
I also don't want it to be like Starfield either, because when I looked at Starfield, I want to play it because it was good.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look visually much better than Fallout 4.
I mean,
it's got like the same. The characters move in all the same gangways, and like it just looks like Fallout 4 in space.
All the games that are coming out at the minute have not really jumped at me. I'd rather play Police Simulator.
Well,
and that's saying something.
You have to search their cars.
But that's saying something. Like that, I think the games haven't grabbed me like that. Nothing really has. I mean, like I think the last game I bought was that Ready or Not. And that's a simulation of just CQB.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, it's alright. It's actually quite good, but it's not gripping.
No.
It's not like I think games have lost that touch when you used to be able to play a game and it was fully complete. Now it's all pay to win and buy an extra story.
Yeah, it is all that sort of stuff.
But I remember jumping back onto the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare. This was going back a couple of years ago now, and I remember jumping on. It was like, new update, 68 gigabytes. I thought, bloody hell, that's massive. Anyway, so I let that download. Jumped on. They went, pay to play campaign 2. How much? 70 quid? No, piss off. I've just paid 70 quid for the game. I'm not paying another 70 quid for the game.
Yeah, that is mental.
Well, but that's how they're becoming, isn't it?
I guess we'll see if Rockstar can save the day with the new GTA 6 when it comes out then.
Yeah.
Apparently we're getting some sort of trailer next month in December.
That's it, next month in December, I believe.
I want to say it's like the 6th or the 15th.
Yeah, early December. It's either going to be...
It's something like that.
Should we put it down to it? It's going to be like the 6th of December?
Yeah, let's put a bet on the 6th.
It's not going to be, but we're going to say
we're going to hope it's the 6th.
So, anyway, there is no cool wall this week as I've run out of printer ink. And printer ink is very expensive these days.
A little bit pricey.
Liquid gold. So I think that's going to end it for this week.
That's it. That's gaming. That's news.
That's it.
That's the week.
TikTok views are on the down, but the YouTube views are on the up.
Yeah, weird that. Guess we'll see what happens next week.
Ciao.